An African safari offers one of the most elemental experiences on the planet, a primal connection to wilderness that strikes a deep chord within and electrifies us forever after. At IWorld to Travel, we felt this and want to share it with you. Come explore with us for a memories beyond adventure. Wherever you want to experience the wonder of Africa, from Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda to South Africa and Zimbabwe, we have boots on the ground in the top safari destinations with expertise second to none. The Serengeti, the Masai Mara Reserve, Ngorongoro, Bwindi National Park, and dozens of others. The names conjure images of wildlife herds running free, a pageantry of exquisite beasts, set against golden sunrises and glowing sunsets, along with lavish feasts and luxury accommodations. That's not all. We'll show you Africa in fascinating cities like Cape Town and Nairobi, and natural wonders like the spectacular Victoria Falls. We'll show you beaches like you've never seen before, and landscapes that will drop your jaw. Once you feel the warmth and welcome of the African people, you'll want to return again and again. We promise. Our custom trips are drawn from a menu of enticing experiences with something interesting for everyone. This is Michael Gelber, CEO IWorld to Travel, inviting you to experience memories beyond destinations. IWorld to Travel. Expect more. Do more. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to the third segment of our three-day Africa series, leadership series. Appreciate your participation, and we certainly are very honored and appreciative of having our guests today from the Business Development Manager of Kenya Tourism Board. We have Fiona Gessa. We have the Regional Marketing Manager for North America, Betty Ichan, and Mark Cahill, who is our Kenya partner and also our in-house consultant in terms of putting together packages and programs and education for Africa, specifically as Kenya as well, and Stephen Gamau from the area manager for Kenya Airways. And we feel that, again, this will be a great informative and educational opportunity for you to learn about Kenya, the beauty of Kenya, how to sell Kenya, and what your resources are. Next slide, please. The presentation is going to take about 60 minutes. Our next guest is Stephen Gomau from Kenya Airways. We have a short video that he wanted to share with you that talks about the best practices that Kenya Airways has taken, and then he'll speak for a few minutes. Please play the video, and Stephen, welcome. All right, Stephen, welcome.
Yes, thank you, Michael. So that short video is basically just a demonstration of all the protocols that have been put in place by the airline, but also at the airport. It's just for you to have a good idea that a lot has already been done in terms of changing things into the new normal. From an airline perspective, you could see that our crew are having PPE. We are having intensive cleaning for our laboratories. So we have a lot of regular cleaning during your flight. Our aircrafts, especially to North America, we operate the Dreamliner. So it's already fitted with the HEPA filters that, are known to get rid of these viruses on board. And also from a configuration perspective, our business class is already split into 2 cabins. So that already ensures that there are not too many people in one particular cabin. And then at the back, we also have only 204 passengers, which is the lowest density you could argue for that size of an aircraft. So there's a lot that has been done to make sure that the passengers are not only feeling safe, but are actually safe. And this has been extended to also what happens on ground at the airport. As you could see in the video, there's a lot of protocols that have been put in place to ensure both hygiene and social distancing measures. Yeah, Michael.
All right, Stephen, thank you. Now, you guys are also part of the, you also have co-chair agreements, don't you, with Air France and Alitalia and some other airlines as well. Is that correct?
Yes, in fact, our JFK operations will only resume on 29th of October. That will be the first flight back into New York. In the meantime, we are working with our partners Delta via Europe, and we also have agreements with American. So we are channeling guests via Europe for now, where we're already operating through our 3 hubs, Amsterdam, London, and Charles de Gaulle. And then in JFK, we do also have, again, Delta and American as our partners for the behind markets. We've got several code shares and interline agreements covering most of the US and also Canada. So from a product perspective, we're able to cover wherever the passengers may be coming from.
Excellent. Thanks very much. I can't wait for that to get started. I think even Delta is doing a nonstop, which is part of the Air France KLM from Atlanta into Cape Town, and then you go to Joburg over to Kenya. So this is good news. Appreciate that. Next up will be, and thank you for your time, Stephen. Next up would be Betty Ishan and then Mark Cahill. Betty is from the Kenya Tourism Board. She is a regional marketing manager for North America as well as Canada. And Mark Cahill has been in the industry for quite a number of years, focusing on Kenya, but really understands the African market. And so I think this will be a terrific resource. Thank you to both of you, resource groups, both of you for showing up and on your way.
Great. Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. I'd like to take a moment just to say thank you to you and your team for having us here. It's a pleasure to be here with you today to share with you some of the highlights of Magical Kenya. We can begin, please. Okay, so what I'd like to do is just introduce you to Kenya. Kenya is located in East Africa. You can see the little country there on the map. It has a population of 50 million people. Our official languages are Swahili and English. Kenya is straddled by the equator, so our climate is tropical. We have our long rains between April and June, and our short rains between November and December. We have sunny climate all year round. Now, just before I continue, I'd like to share with you some interesting facts about Kenya, some facts that you may not know. Now, Kenya is known as the innovation hub in Africa. One of the leading innovations is the mobile money service called M-Pesa. Some of you may have heard of it. M-Pesa means mobile money. And what it is It's a service that allows users to send money, make payments, and pay bills using their mobile phones. And this is available, not only available in Kenya, but other countries as well. The other thing about Kenya that you may not know is that Kenya is the only country in Africa with a UN headquarter office, which is in Nairobi. The other UN offices are in Vienna, Geneva, and New York City, but Nairobi is the only city in Africa to host the UN. The other thing that you may not know, or you actually know about Kenya, is that it's the home of champions. This is where we have the leading world-class marathoners like Eliud Kipchoge and many others who come from this region. Next, please. So what you see on your slide is a map of Kenya with the main tourism circuits. And what I'll be doing in my presentation is that I'll take you through some highlights of each of the circuits, some of the attractions, what types of accommodation is available, and how to access each of the circuits. Next slide, please. So what makes Magical Kenya unique? What is our unique selling proposition as a destination? Number one, it's the intimate and responsible connection with nature. What we mean is that the fact that you're able to connect with nature in various ways, be it a walking safari, a balloon safari, a game drive, through the comfort of your hotel, Kenya provides you with an opportunity to connect with nature. The other unique selling point is the diversity of wildlife in breathtaking landscapes. Kenya has over 60 national parks and reserves, and each of these parks and reserves have unique species. Number three, enriching cultural encounters with friendly people. Kenya has over 42 ethnic tribes. Each tribe is unique with its own customs, traditions, cuisine. So it's very rich in culture. Number four is the barefoot luxury, even in remote locations. The availability of exclusive accommodation makes Kenya unique. Number five is the multi-experience coastline. I'll be talking to you about Kenya's coast very briefly to share with you some of the experiences. Number six is the vibrant cities for passive and active pursuits. And number seven is the exhilarating activities inland and on the coast. So those are the 7 things that make Kenya a unique destination. Next slide, please. So I'll take you through the circuits and the hidden gems of Kenya. And what we're basically trying to demonstrate in the presentation is that Kenya is more than just safari. It's known for the safari, but there's so much more to do. Next slide. So Kenya has approximately 500 kilometers of coastline. This is along the Indian Ocean. Our coastline has white sandy beaches and blue warm waters all year round. The international airport at the coast is located in Mombasa. The airport is called the Moi International Airport, and it receives both charters and scheduled flights from cities around the world. There are other domestic airports in the region, such as the Malindi Airport and the Ukunda Airport, each with scheduled flights to destinations in Kenya. We also now have a train service that runs from Nairobi to Mombasa, which you can propose to your clients. There's a first class service and an economy class service as well. Now, some of the activities that you can enjoy at the coast include visits to marine parks. We have about 6 marine parks in the coast. We have active nightlife, nature walks, visits to UNESCO World Heritage Sites like Fort Jesus and the Old Town. In terms of accommodation, there's a wide variety of accommodation at the Kenyan coast. We have luxury, from luxury hotels to budget hotels. We have the villas, resorts, cottages, and boutique hotels as well. So it just depends on the needs of your clients. Next slide. There you have some images of the Kenyan coast, the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and some of the marine parks. Next slide. The next region is Nairobi. Nairobi is the capital city of Kenya. It's also known as the Green City in the Sun. And it's also the world's only capital to boast a national park within its boundaries. Nairobi is also a major economic hub in the East and Central African region. The main port of entry in Nairobi is the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. You can see it there on the map. And Jomo Kenyatta connects Kenya to over 50 destinations across the world. As you've heard from the Kenya Airways rep, Steve, Kenya Airways has a direct service from New York to Nairobi, and it's scheduled to resume on 29th of October. We also have a domestic airport, which is known as Wilson Airport. And this airport basically connects passengers to the different tourism circuits in the country. The beauty about Kenya is that you're able to fly to each and every circuit in the country. The flight duration is usually between 1 hour to 1.5 hours. Some of the activities that you can enjoy while in Nairobi include festivals and events, restaurants, history, shopping for arts and crafts, excursions, especially to Nairobi National Park, and other places like the Giraffe Center, which you see on your screen. One thing about Nairobi is that a lot of agents book their clients for one night only in Nairobi. We encourage you to allow your clients to spend 2 to 3 nights in Nairobi. There's so much to do, there's so much to see. In terms of accommodation, we have a diverse range of accommodation, which includes luxury hotels. We have global brands like Kempinski, Radisson Blu, Hemingway's, Crown Plaza, and many others. Next, please. The next region is the Central Rift. The main attraction in this region is the Great Rift Valley Lakes. These are Lake Nakuru, Lake Naivasha, Lake Elementaita. And the main attraction is the Nakuru National Park, which is home to the indigenous black and white rhinos. The pink flamingos used to be Nakuru, but they have migrated to another region, which is called Bogoria, which I will cover in my presentation. There's over 56 species of mammals and birds in this area. In terms of accommodation, there's a wide variety of luxury lodges and camps. You can access this region by road. It's only a 2-hour drive from Nairobi. And some of the activities include boat rides, bird watching, hiking, biking, and photography. Next region. Yes, you can see it there on the map. And you can see the pink flamingos. Nakuru has always been famous for the pink flamingos and the bird watching experience. So if you have any bird watching lovers, this is an excellent region. Then we have, then we have the Mount Kenya region. Mount Kenya is a snow-capped mountain. It's the highest mountain in Kenya and the second highest in Africa after Kilimanjaro. The region is famous, it's famous around the world because of the Aberdare National Park. Aberdare National Park is famous because in 1952, Princess Elizabeth, now Queen of England, was staying at the treetops at the time of her father's death, King George VI. And she ascended to the throne while at treetops. She became queen while at treetops. Another reason why the Mount Kenya region is famous is because of the Meru National Park, which is the former home of Joy and George Adamson, who were main conservationists in lions, who took care of lions. Now, in terms of activities to do in this region, of course, mountain climbing, walking, hiking, biking, and trekking. You can access the region either by road or by air. There's a domestic airport called the Nanyuki Airport, and the flight is normally about 45 minutes from Nairobi. And you can see there we have the Mount Kenya National Park. Yeah, the Mount Kenya National Park and other properties in the area. We have the Mount Kenya Safari Club, and the Meru Mount Kenya Lodge. Next slide. These are the different peaks of the Mount Kenya. Mount Kenya has 3 peaks: Lenana Peak, Nelion, and Batian. Batian is the highest point at 5,199 meters. Next slide. The best months to climb are definitely January, February, June, July, August, September, and December. Of course, the wet months are not ideal because of the rains, which are between March and May, and October and November. Next slide. And there you have a map that shows you the Mount Kenya region. You can see there's the Lewa Conservancy around it, the Laikipia area, Aberdare National Park, all fall within this region. Next slide. And there you can see a picture of Mount Kenya Safari Club and some of the activities that you can take part in, which is at the horseback riding safaris, culture and heritage, and golfing as well. The next region is Northern Kenya, also known as the cradle of mankind, where human fossil remains dating several centuries back have been discovered. It is also home to Kenya's Special 5. The Special 5 are the reticulated giraffe, the gravy zebra, the Somali ostrich, the oryx, and the gerenuk. These animals are only found in this region. It's in the northern part of Kenya. And some of the activities that you can take part in are walking, hiking, trekking, camel safaris, visits to the villages, which are very rich in culture and heritage, festivals, and conservation. You can access this area using domestic flights. There's several domestic airlines that service the region. Travel by air is recommended because of the distance from Nairobi. Now, the region is famous for its rich displays of culture and heritage. There's lots of cultural festivals, which are quite colorful and beautiful showcases of the local people's traditions. And then there's the prehistoric and archaeological sites. You can see there on the screen some of the local festivals. And we also have a camel derby called the Maralal Camel Derby, which takes place every year. Next slide. Then we have the North Rift region. This region is also known as the home of the champions. This is where all the famous marathon runners come from in Kenya. Everybody thinks all Kenyans can run marathons, but no. There's only those that come from this region. And the region has several high altitude training camps and several world-class athletes from all parts of the world come to Kenya, come to this region just to train because of the conducive environment. Other than that, the region is also famous for the pink flamingos and a diverse range of bird species. And you can access it by road and domestic flights. Yeah. And then some of the activities, as I said, bird watching, paragliding, photography, hiking, boating, and many more activities are available within this region. The South Rift is a region you're all familiar with. This is the home of the Big Five and home to over 100 mammals and 450 species of birds. It is famous for the annual wildebeest migration, which takes place, which is actually ongoing now as we speak. The region is also famous because of its abundance with wildlife. Yeah, and then the rich culture, which is from the Maasai tribe that is found in the area. So you can see the circle that shows the exact location of the Mara. In terms of accommodation, there's luxury lodges and camps. There are camps which are located in the Mara. There are camps located out of the Mara. reserve, and then we have the private conservancies. In terms of activities, there's lots to do. There's the balloon safaris, there's the walking safaris, there's hiking, and horseback safaris as well. And of course, the game drives. Next slide. And then last but not least, in terms of region, is Western Kenya, which is not well known. And it is famous for Lake Victoria, which is the largest freshwater lake in Africa and the second largest in the world. It's also known for the Kakamega Forest, which has over 400 species of birds. It's located at the most western point of Kenya. You can see the circle there around the city called Kisumu. There's an international airport called Kisumu International Airport. And in terms of accommodation, there's 3 to 5-star hotels available. In terms of activities in this region, mainly are bird watching, walking safaris, hiking, fishing because of the lake, and then rich culture as well. And there you have some beautiful images of the region. Good. So like I mentioned, Kenya has over 60 national parks and reserves spread out all over the country. You can see that on the map. The Masai Mara is the most famous, but there's so much more to do and see in Kenya, which is what I will be sharing with you in the next slide. Now, what we are trying to demonstrate through this calendar is that Kenya is an all-year-round destination. Many people often ask, when is the best time to travel to Kenya? And what we always tell them, any time of the year, depending on your client's needs. So if we take a look at January, I'll not go through all the activities, but just pick out the highlights. There's paragliding over the scenic Kerio Valley. There's deep sea fishing expeditions, which are excellent and can be done in the Watamu region. We have Kenya's Big Five of the sea. Yeah, this is the whale sharks, the giant manta rays, the humpback whales, the dolphins, and the tiger sharks. Next slide. In February, we have a lot of international biking events. We have the Mount Kenya Mountain Biking Challenge, which takes place in the Mount Kenya region. It's also a good time to learn about the red elephants of Amboseli and Tani Lava. What you'll see in all the months that the constant activity in each and every month is world-class wildlife watching safaris. Basically,
hey Betty, you need to get a little closer to the mic. It's going in and out a little bit.
One of the constants that you can see in each and every month is the world-class wildlife watching safaris. What we're saying is that the wildlife can be any time of the year. All year round, you have an opportunity to enjoy the wildlife. Right? And then in March, we have
hey, Mark, can you step in a little bit? Something's going in and out with the speaker on there right now. Yeah, I'm sure it's just a little technical niche glitch that we're having. I'm sure it's the internet too.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Perfect.
Okay, right. Okay, so I'm in March, and one of the major events that we have in March is the Lamu Yoga Festival. This is a 5-day festival, and it brings together local and international yogis, and it takes place in Lamu. We have the Magical Kenya Open, which is a golf festival that also brings in local and international competitors. Magical Kenya Open this year will take place in November. We had to change the date because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Next, please. In April, we have a cultural festival in Northern Kenya, the Oblong Cultural Festival, which takes place in Turkana. It has different songs, dance, dressing, accessories, and people. There's rafting and kayaking trips in the Kenya State region in Ghana. And
Betty, I'm going to stop you just for a second. It's hard to hear. I'm going to try. It's Fiona. How's your microphone? Can you turn yours on for a second and see if it's any better? The connection.
Hi.
Hi, is this Fiona?
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe if you and Mark can go and just go through the months here. I think it's an internet connection. I don't think it's anything that Betty's doing wrong. I think it's just there's a lapse in the. Do you feel comfortable going through the April to the end of the year? Just touching on the slides?
That's okay.
Okay.
Betty?
Yes. So if you want to start with April, just showing where the different activities have in the month of April, and then we'll go to May, and then we'll try to get Betty back on.
Thank you. In the month of April, the main highlight, we have the Toblongore Cultural Festival, which is in Turkana. This is where we have the Cradle of Mankind and the Turkana Boy. That is the main event around this month, but there are a number of other expeditions that can take place, such as rafting, kayaking, and Northern Kenya expedition, which is part of the photography safaris. Next slide. Around May is usually a month where you can do a lot of activities across Kenya. For example, the whale migration and whale watching, which is happening right now in Watamu, where I am. We have the family affair, friendly wildlife viewing, the Turkana Cultural Festival, heritage training camps, and also wildlife, which is all year round. And May is also a good time because it's not raining at that time. Can go to the next slide. In the month of June, the highlight is running in the wild for a good cause. That is at Lewa Conservancy in Laikipia, around Mount Kenya region. Then around this time, you can also do the desert expeditions in Chalbi Desert in northern Kenya. Here we cover Laikipia, Samburu, Marsabit. Photography safaris is also taking place around that area. Then in addition, we have horseback safaris across Laikipia, Samburu, and part of northern Kenya. Next. Also just pictures of what happens for horseback safaris. Next. In the month of July is a pink expedition focusing on the Rift Valley, on the flamingos in Bogoria and Nakuru. This is part of the Central Rift region of Kenya. Then we have astro safaris in Laikipia, Meru, Samburu, and Laikipia. But also we have wild night outs. This is basically the night game drives that can happen in the conservancies within Mara and Laikipia. Here you can also combine, of course, with the iconic wildlife safaris that Kenya offers. Thank you. Next slide. In the month of August, the highlight here is the International Maralal Camel Derby that takes place in Samburu. This is in northern Kenya. But in addition to that, you can also do the fly safari, whether it's a helicopter, balloon safaris, or other means. You can also have a Cradle of Mankind, a trip back home to Marsabit, Turkana area. But this can also be combined with iconic wildlife safaris like Laikipia, Samburu, Mara, Mount Kenya, and Amboseli. Next month, please. That's part of the flying safari in a balloon. Cradle of Mankind, you've heard about the Turkana Boy. And this is one of the oldest full human being found in the world, which you can find in northern Kenya. Around September, around September, besides wildlife watching, which is available across the year, we have adventure walking trips, Out of Africa Adventures, the Special 5, which is found in Samburu, and then the Rift Valley Odyssey, which covers Laikipia to Mara through using mountain bikes, and also covering part of the Central and South Rift region. Can move to October. Those are pictures just illustrating more about what is available around October. There are also a number of activities that can be done during the month of October. The highlight here is the Stanchet Marathon that happens in Nairobi. where even elite athletes take part in this process within Kenya, but also we have a lot of tourists that sign up to join the Kenyans in this run. But also we have scuba diving at the equator, we have birds of Kenya, for those who love birding, lion tracking in Alpageta Conservancy. But also, besides that, we have a number of activities that can be done in Nakuru, Bogoria, Kisumu, Arabuko, Sokoke, Taita, Savo, basically across Kenya. All these activities we're talking about, birding in Kenya, lion tracking, can be done in various sections of Kenya. Can move to November. Those are quite a number of activities that actually you can get to do while in Kenya. In the month of November, the highlight is Lamu Cultural Festival. Lamu Cultural Festival is held in Lamu Island, which is a UNESCO heritage site, but it's also located at the Kenya coast. And here is where you want to, where life actually stuck in time. And you can get to experience life as it was, where you're using only donkeys and walking on foot to discover the heritage. And this is the oldest heritage across East Africa. In December is the time of the year where you combine sun, sea, and safari. And for the sea, there's a lot of water sports, Indiani, Mombasa, Matamu, Malindi, and Lamu. But also besides that, you can combine with coffee tours. It's usually around Kirinyaga area, and also in Nairobi and Kiambu region. And then next slide, please. That is a coffee tour across Kenya, but also you can do the tea tours, wine tours in addition to that. And these are just some of the accommodation that we have in Kenya. We have the Mahali Mzuri in the Mara, which is part of the Rich and Branson collection, the Radisson Blues, the Kempinski. So basically from 3 to 5-star hotels that are available in Kenya across. And besides just the city hotels, we have the tented camps. This is in the conservancy and the national parks, where guests can enjoy 5-star service. Those are pictures of a number of resorts that are available also at the coastal region, from luxury to budget, depending on what the client wants. This is Mount Kenya, which is based right at the cross of the equator. Thank you.
Oh, Fiona, thank you for stepping in. Betty, thank you. Sorry, listen, we're all learning a lot of how to adapt in these times.
Yeah.
And being attached to the internet. So your presentation, Betty, was fantastic, very informative. I'm excited about it. And Fiona, thank you so much for stepping in and taking over the balance of that. And with that, I'm going to introduce Fiona Gessa, who is the Business Development Manager for the Kenya Tourism Board. And she will be sharing just a little bit about the signature series that they have. And then once we get to the end, we will go ahead and take some questions and answers. I just saw something pop up. Yes, everything here is recorded and it will be emailed to everybody who registered, as well as being posted on our website. Fiona, take it away. Next slide.
Thank you very much. And thank you for this opportunity. From what we have seen, what Betty has shared, Kenya has a lot to offer. Beyond what is renowned as safari and beach destination, there is a lot more that Kenya, that is yet to be discovered and explored by clients and also agents currently listening to the webinar. So in order to serve your clients better, Kenya went a step further to add another layer of magic. And this is what we call the magical Kenya signature experiences. And here we looked at the unique, the authentic, the exceptional experiences that Kenya has to offer beyond and above what is already offered and loved by tourists. And this is where we are going to discuss more in terms of the signature experiences. We can move to the next slide, please. So basically, when you look at the signature experiences, it's a collection of unique, authentic, and exceptional travel experiences that are best aligned to the magical Kenya brand promise. Betty has already gone through the USPs, what makes Kenya unique. And these experiences that you're curating already align to this uniqueness and make Kenya stand out. But also, they ensure that, be it safari, when you talk of safari, when you talk of adventure, when you talk of culture, there's a lot more into it, focusing on conservation, adventure, ecotourism, that align with most of the interests that we've noticed on the American market. And in terms of the collection, it covers a whole wide range in terms of regions from northern, western, coast, central, eastern, and southern parts of the Kenya, across the country all year round. In terms of experiences, it's diverse. Basically, your clients will be very happy. All their needs, their passions, their motivations are covered. When we talk about the providers of these experiences, they range from mid-range to from small and medium enterprises, micro and large companies, but also in terms of range of services from barefoot luxury to niche market. So all this is covered under the Signature Experiences. Go to the next slide. Here, when you go to this website, www.magicalkenya.com/MKSE, you get the full collection of 15 diverse experiences. And just to go quickly, one of them is the Karen Blixen Museum in Nairobi, famed for the Out of Africa story. Then the Forest Adventure not far from Nairobi. We have the Kitengela Hot Glass. We have Olaro by Hermes Retreat, a luxury resort. We have kayaking with the elephants at Mogi Dam in Laikipia. We have flying heli tours with Tropic Air, Mount Kenya region, and also Suguta Valley, which is an amazing, breathtaking landscape where you're able to see it from the sky, but also come down and meet the communities on the ground to understand their lifestyle and immerse yourself in the experience. But also have the big cat safaris. And here is located in the only green destination in Kenya. We have only 3 green destinations around the world. Then we have 2 experiences that focus on the humanitarian touch, connection with Kenya, dealing every day with the grandmothers, with the school children feeding program, so that you get immersed and be part of the Kenyan life, what they go through every single day. Other coast, we have the stand-up paddle with the dolphins in Watamu. We have the tamarind down dining experience, an amazing evening experience you can have. We have the Finch Hattons luxury in Savo West. We also have Sky Safari that cuts across Meru National Park, Amboseli National Park, and Masai Mara, which are the top national parks that we have in Kenya. And lastly, we have the Loisaba Starbeds. This is named as the biggest bedroom in the world, where you sleep under the stars. If you love astronomy, this would be the go-to place. There's a lot more that you can find on the site for you to discover, and you're continuously identifying this experience so that as the world opens, your clients have enough to choose from and having memories that will last a lifetime beyond the experience. Thank you very much.
Betty, thank you. That was great. I will mention, Fiona, thank you. I will mention that the Signature Series is something that we are going to be working on with our new LSD product, our luxury small group departure. That'll be a limited private group being able to experience these exceptional opportunities within the opportunities in Kenya. So you'll see more to come from us. Now I'm going to turn it over to Shane. We have some questions. Just a few I see. I think some of them we've answered throughout the course of the presentation, but we have a few questions left. Shane, if you can just address those, and then we'll get to wrap up.
Yeah, so what I'm going to say is, first off, if you do have any questions, we're going to be starting the Q&A. So if you want to drop them in the Q&A section, we'll get those answered live here. There's a couple we have. And then I also see that one of the attendees, Bill Brenneman, has a hand raised. If you want to drop your question, or if we can help you with anything, feel free to drop it in the chat or reach out to anyone on the team here. As you can see Michael's email there, or info@iworldoftravel.com. But I'm going to start with, I would like to know what type of fish are found in the lake in Western Kenya.
Who wants to take that, Fiona? Mark?
Yeah, I typed an answer, but the main species are a Nile perch, there's catfish, and then there's endemic species of cichlids, which are these sort of little, sort of striped, often variety of colors, small fish that live in the lake.
Okay.
Are there fishing opportunities or any sort of like tours based around that?
Yeah, absolutely. There's fishing tours on Lake Victoria. There's also excellent trout fishing in the Central Highlands in the Mount Kenya and Aberdares region. And then also Kenya has world-class game and sport fishing on the coast as well.
Perfect. So if a guest has a mobility issue but not in a wheelchair, can the safari consist of touring by the specialty trucks only? What areas of Kenya would you recommend?
Yes. If a guest has a mobility issue but not in a wheelchair, you can still use those vehicles. Often they come with step stools and other assistance to get in and out of the vehicle. Also, there's a number of properties that can be used in really all the regions of Kenya that would be properties that you would use for someone who needs a mobility assistance.
Fantastic. So then the next question is coming from Tari Williams, was asking about price specifics. What would be a price range for a package about 7 to 8? And I figured, I know it's so custom, so I figured I'd handle it.
Yeah, so that comes down to a couple of different factors, right? It comes down to when are you going, because there's seasonal pricing. How many people are you going with? Oftentimes, the more people you have, the lower your price per person point is. So that's another factor. And then, of course, what type of accommodations are you using? Are you using 3 or 5 star? Obviously, it's going to impact what you're doing. And then the last thing that would really impact would be transport. Are you doing road transfers? Are you flying the whole way? Are you chartering an aircraft? Those are all different things. So it's difficult to tell, but just depending on ranges, you can do, up to $1,000 a night for a luxury trip. You can have budget trips that are, $150 to $250 per person per night. It just really depends on those factors.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, let me just chime in there. Normally, we don't normally do the budget travel. We're normally in the 4 to 5 star, and that could be boutique and very unique opportunities. But if you just want to email any one of us, and kind of we always want to understand how your clients travel. And we don't need to know how they want to travel. We want to know how they have traveled. And if we know how they have traveled, like do they go business class, do they go economy, would they stay at a Four Seasons versus staying at maybe a Radisson? So when we have those, when we get a sense of what their historical experience is, we can then match an itinerary with that particular client's experience and comfort level. So I would say it's hard to give you an estimate without really knowing specifically, and all the inclusions that would be part of the experience too, not just the accommodations, but private, whether it's a private transfer, whether it's combined with others and so on. So if you want to either email, you can email our Vice President of Global Sales, Zahava Baton, at ZBITTON at IWorld@travel.com, and we'll be happy to help you figure out what that price point would be for the clients that you're considering.
And if I could piggyback just one thing on that, I would say, you should definitely lean on us here at IWorld to help you out to determine those kinds of things. I think, the initial sales conversation you might have with your client is really just an interview of them in terms of what they're looking to get out of their African safari, what they're interested in. Are there any milestones that would be occurring on this trip? And then, of course, you have some idea about how your client travels. Just simply bring that information to us and we can help talk you through all the options. If you're like any of the other agents I've talked to, you've done a million webinars, you have all these thoughts about Africa and Europe and Asia and all this new product going through your head. Just worry about your client, what they like, the interview, give us the information, then we can work with you to create the package.
Excellent.
For IWorld, how far out can you plan a trip? And what is the ideal size of a group?
Well, I'll let Mark finish that one, but as far as booking out, I think the limitation is going to be airlines, right? So as far out as you can book an airline is as far out as you can book the land with us as well. And that I think would be the metric for that. In terms of the ideal size of group, it just depends upon what your client's like. But I would personally tell you that, and Mark could probably expand on this. So most of the vehicles hold 6 to 8 people within the vehicles. Is that correct, Mark?
That's correct.
And so if you're going to come with a group of 6 to 8, that's great. If you're going to come with a group of 12 to 16, it would have 2 vehicles. So it just kind of depends, how your clients want to travel. If they want to have a little more space, so if there are 8 passengers, maybe we get 2 4-passenger vehicles. We're trying to customize everything to what it is that's going to make your client the most comfortable. We don't want them to try to fit into what our idea of how they should travel. We want to find out how they like to travel, and then we'll combine what the experience opportunities are with their comfort level of travel and build an itinerary specific for them.
Just as an example, you could have a group that's, 4 people, they want to do a luxury trip, but they'd also like to go to Zanzibar, but they don't want to stay at a resort. And so that's where we would suggest to you, we have a number of luxury private villas that we could work with that would, accommodate their non-resort requests for social distancing reasons or just cultural interest. And so you can sort of bring that kind of expertise and really have a nice package to present for them they can make a buying decision on.
Perfect. And if that was the last of the open questions. If anyone had anything last minute, feel free to drop it in here. But if not, that will be all the Q&A I have.
Well, Triple, again, I want to thank everybody who participated in the webinar, who joined us, and also our panelists, Fiona and Betty, Mark and Stephen. We're here to help. We're here to serve you. Whatever we could do. Again, we're an FIT company, and that means that we are here to design whatever package or program or schedule fits into your client's needs. I think I see 2 more questions just popped up. Is that correct, Shane?
It was just Kimberly and Turi saying thank you to everybody.
Oh, terrific. Well, you're welcome. And okay, well, I think that's it. Everybody who registered will get a copy of the video of the webinar emailed to you, and you'll be able to fast forward to any section that you want within it. Once it goes on our website, we're also going to be working on setting up kind of a glossary so that you can go to a specific spot in the presentation, whether it's for Kenya, Tanzania, Africa, or any of the other 60 countries that we cover and destinations we have on our website. Again, thank you very much. Appreciate the participation for everybody. Everybody have a good day, good evening, or good morning. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great one.
All right.